Hi, this is Philip again with my Chapter 3 project for Android Bootcamp for developers using Java. Uh, this week, the chapter focused on user input, variables, and operations. I decided to complete Case Project 3-5 called Split the Bill. The requirements for this application were pretty much that you create two activities. On the first activity, you needed to have a title and a button to move to the next activity. On the next activity, you were supposed to allow the user to rate their dining experience. Once they had rated their dining experience, you were supposed to create an input area where they could put the total cost of their meal in, the number of guests that they had with them at the time of the meal, and then the application needed to divide that up with an 18% tip. So let's go ahead and jump right in and take a look at my application. Alrighty, so as you can see, we are inside of Android Studio. Right now we are looking at the code for the main activity page or the title screen. This was a pretty easy page to develop. Basically, I just needed to create a button and then, of course, put the image in. As you can see, the button, once clicked, is going to move us to the secondary activity, which is where a majority of the work for the entire project is. So, taking a look at the second activity, we'll look at the code. So as you can see, I've got all my variables declared up top. If you look down here, I have basically set up this spinner, set up my edit text boxes for user input, and then I've got the button that basically lets the program know, hey, it's time to move forward to the next portion of the program. I've set up the variable for results and also for a user rating, which I did decide to add in. And then essentially down here, we've got all of the programming that breaks down the information into a usable format for the application to perform. We'll take a real quick look here at the strings page, which you can see I've basically got an array set up here for the radial device. Excuse me, not the radial device, the spinner device. And then, of course, I've just got all of my other strings that I use throughout the project. We'll take a real quick look at the design for each of the pages, and then I'll demonstrate the program does actually run. So this is basically the start page. I decided to design a splash image for my title. The user clicks the start button. Initially, I ran into some issues with the program crashing. This is because I tried to change the button layout, and because that's not compatible with some versions of Android, it caused the program to basically crash. So these are pretty basic buttons, and that's the reason why. Taking a look at the other activity, as you can see, it's got a splash image across the top. You've got the instructions for rating the dining experience, and then it's got the spinner here. Then down here we've got the part where it calculates out, where you can input all the information for the calculations. You got your calculate button, and then down here is where it's going to spit out the results. I basically just used a blank string to fill these until it was ready. So I've already got the emulator up and running. So we'll go ahead and run the app. Yes. And we'll wait for that to come up. All right. So we're at our title page. Click to start. We're going to rate our meal. Let's say that it was just average. The total cost of the meal, let's say it's $75.62. And then let's say that there were 4 people in our party, which is actually pretty cheap, I think, for 4 people, just depending on what restaurant you're at. Calculate out the total. It's going to tell us that we need to pay $22.31 each and that our user rating was average. So this has been my project for Chapter 3. I hope you've enjoyed viewing, and I look forward to seeing you for Chapter 4. Thank you.